Gender dysphoria is a terminology that is used to really describe somebody that feels a lot of distress, discomfort in their biological sex. And so that usually is the term that folks use when somebody says, I am really a man, but I feel that I am a woman, that they feel trapped in the wrong body. So we look at it psychologically because reality is biologically, we know that they're male or female, and that's, generally the way that they look. For girls, many times, and I like to say not all, these expressions are not for everybody, but many times the girl has experienced a sexual abuse, in some cases rape. They may as well have seen their mother or somebody in the family that's been emotionally or physically abused. And generally, when things like that happen, it's a personal vow, like, if I become a woman, I'm going to become a victim. And so believing that if they take on this role as a man, they will be a protector instead of somebody that needs protection. And so those are some of the many commonalities with women that struggle with their gender, with girls that struggle with their gender. With males, there's a disconnect from dad's world. Now, dad could be doing everything right and be drawn in, but for some reason that boy does not feel connected. Or maybe he's a little bit too drawn into mom's world, especially when we have single parenting. And I'm not putting anybody down that's a mom that's trying to raise boys, but to realize the importance for them to have a male role model, especially in today's world, where they feel connected with another male and where they are being raised up in feeling confident and valued in who they are. I think in the human race, we don't feel valued in who we are, and we look for an escape, and that many times happens with the individuals. Males that experience trauma, sexual abuse, perhaps dad's been very harsh, and where they've seen the harshness towards mom or female counterparts, and they swear off, just like the girls do, I don't want to be a victim. For the guys, it's, I don't want to be like dad, because look how dad is, or look how this male is that they've been able to witness the abuse.
At least half of the people that I work with have been sexually abused. The other half have been emotionally, psychologically, or something happened to them to cause them to not want to be who they are. They weren't born that way. They just, in their minds, go, I don't want to be this person that this is happening to. I've got to become somebody else so that this doesn't happen. I've had people, young people in their teens, write me and say, I wanted to change to be a boy so that I could erase my childhood because my father had sexually abused me. We've learned from these stories that people who identify as, especially boys who are sexually abused by men, they want to get rid of their genitalia because in their mind, they feel like if my genitalia is gone, I will never be sexually abused again. So they identify as a girl, so that they think that's a safe place to be. Girls who are sexually abused oftentimes become boys as a way to show power, that men, people who will abuse them will be fearful of them because they're strong and more masculine and powerful, and they won't be submissive to being abused. So we have these two dynamics of two different genders dealing with the whole transgender phenomenon in a way to prevent being abused because they've been abused. And so they're either emotionally abused, they're psychologically abused, they're physically abused, or they're sexually abused. Something happened. Transgenders are not born, they're not made by God. God makes male and female. Man and his carving knives on surgical tables attempts to make something other than a male or female because he mutilates them and destroys their lives. And the end result for many of them is not just regret, not just a detransition, but it's death.
I would say that right now, 50 to 55% of the men that I see have some form of childhood sexual abuse, prepubescent. The numbers go up post-pubescent, that they've had some form of sexual experience before the age of 16. And so this is pretty tragic in what's happening in our culture. The culture should actually take pause. The church certainly should take pause, in that these are people, children, that are really being wounded in their most significant area of developing as a gendered being, as a sexual being. And if that comes in at an early age, that's going to cause shame. A big problem is shame and darkness in the way that someone views themselves, when they look at themselves, when they think about themselves, when they compare themselves with others in either in their own gender or the opposite gender. And so it brings in, unfortunately, a lot of confusion. We actually see the numbers are higher in female homosexuality. And now we know culturally about 1 in 5 boys and 2 in 5 girls will be sexually molested as children. And the numbers seem to be going up.